Hey everybody, 8-Bit Podcast, episode 30. This week we have, if you notice, we're in our one of our little parts of our office, different spot that you might be used to. What are you laughing at, Steven? I can see you over there.
Nothing. One of our little parts of our office.
Parts of our office. We got little parts everywhere. This week we thought it'd be fun to do a little Q&A with our summer interns. So with some questions, just kind of get your thoughts on some things. So first off, maybe start off with introductions. I'll start at the end. Maybe who you are and where you went to school or are going to school. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm Josh Helmer, and I went to school at St. Scholastica. I graduated last fall.
I'm Sarah Gill, and I go to school at UMD. Graduate this spring.
And I'm Sam, and I go to UMD as well. And I will be graduating, next spring as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, maybe say what your role is this summer and what you're working on. So you're
the graphic design intern.
Graphic design.
Social media intern.
And I'm kind of the marketing intern that's pulling the both together.
Sweet. Maybe, do you want to explain, maybe in your own thoughts, maybe I'll start and just chime in where you want, but what do we have you guys working on this summer? I don't think we've ever really formally maybe explained it to the world of this little side fun power play project that we've been working on. If you want to maybe explain it in your own words.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a big unveil for the podcast, but we've been working on a side project called Pinpoint Love, and we've basically been creating a strategy to get it out in the world and make it a big thing. That's
Sam picked up
Pinpoint
on
Love right there.
Yeah, you got a couple examples hanging up above you there.
Product placement.
Yes.
Yeah, we meant to do that.
It was well thought out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little part of our office.
Yeah. You want me to expand on that? Like what Pinpoint Love kind of represents or is?
Yeah, so Pinpoint Love, the idea behind Pinpoint Love is to share a location that really holds a nice place in our heart and show your team colors as well. So it really helps capture those memories that we have in those stadiums.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just expand on that. So it started out as a just a fun kind of clever idea. We think it's clever. Where if you take the latitude, longitude, GPS coordinates, if you will, you might, the 30-some degrees north and X amount of degrees west, kind of pinpoints a spot in the world. But basically, it's we started out with sports teams and their respective home ballparks, arenas, football fields, whatever. And then we took that and those coordinates and then represented it in the colors of those specific teams or that style of their jersey as a place to, as you can see, that's the Minnesota Vikings on the wall. So that's something that we just started playing around with, came out of the power play, which we've talked about a lot in the past. And first we had to make all of these things. So for every team, all the major four sports, four? Mm-hmm. Hockey, basketball, yeah. Yeah, four. I couldn't remember. But that took a long time to research and figure that out. But we did that, and then and so we thought we would have some interns come and help us with this. It felt like a really fun project to kind of elaborate on, to get a different perspective. Because obviously, from our standpoint, we come at it from the more like we created it kind of thing, but when you're kind of too close to something, sometimes you think one way is the right way to do it, and then also the time piece of it. So we thought it'd be a fun project. So I think we got the dream team to help us out this summer. So what are you guys' thoughts of it so far? Like, how's it been going? Like, has it been just kind of maybe what your thoughts of how it's been going, good or bad? To be honest,
I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
This is my first time really trying to grow a company, so I've been learning a lot just doing that, and then also through these guys too.
Yeah, I think we all have learned a lot from each other too.
Yeah.
Just through our conversations, which is really nice. And then Like he said, it's my first time like really growing a company, so it's a lot of fun to see some posts like take off sometimes, like our Twitter poll, and see how people are reacting to that, see what's working.
Yeah, just playing off of what both of you have said, it's really interesting building something, and it definitely takes a different perspective to start from something new rather than having something that's already well established. It's been really interesting reaching out to different people and seeing their reactions and growing the page more organically, which I thought has been pretty interesting. And we're hopefully trying to get into some more paid advertisement, but right now we've just been doing the organic way, and that's been super fun too.
Yeah. I know one of the things that we were hoping to get out of having you on board was to have a little more time than we've been able to put towards it from a promotion standpoint, which you guys have been doing. But I think the other thing was taking the time and really kind of do a plan, or that kind of strategic, how do we do that? So you touched on that. So how did that go for you guys? Like, do you feel like you were able to put enough time and research into the plan that is ultimately being kind of implemented now?
Yeah, so we definitely did our research and looked for other people or other brands that were doing the same thing. And the closest thing we could find was in England, and they were doing real football, not American football. So it was difficult. Football.
I
Real
don't even know if that's
football.
how you say it different, but
No, I don't know. It's
spelled different. That's all I know.
Football.
I think that's in southern countries.
Oh, okay.
I think
Shows
that's
you my-
accent.
Shows you my experience.
Yeah.
There's another Spanish word, football.
Football.
So yeah, it was definitely difficult because we didn't really have that much data to go off of. So a lot of it was deeper research than we probably. I guess I don't know how to explain it. We did, when we were coming up with our personas, we were just kind of generalizing a sports fanatic, and that played into the role of who we're trying to target right now with our social media.
Sure.
Yeah. I definitely feel like it's a lot of trial and error. So, I mean, it's like educated guessing a little bit, but it's kind of fun because there is some research behind the guessing. Like, it's not just totally like, I'm just going to shoot in the dark, but there are some ideas about like people that we know that are big sports fans and like, what do they think? And talking with you guys about what you guys think about the sport or what makes it so special to you. And we're just really trying to touch on the special parts because that's how you get the feeling from people and really make something genuine.
I would just add, just from our perspective, definitely we have a vision for this thing. We definitely believe in the concept of it all, and we've even seen some varied successes with what we've shared with that. But yeah, it's nice to kind of put a little bit more deeper thought into that. And you're right. Sometimes it's like we know X amount about this because it is this kind of newer concept, if you will. You kind of have to go off of what's happening out there and what's not happening, and then being able to pivot. So I think this is also it's a good learning experience as an intern, I think, as a student in this kind of thing, and for us to, because we do have this like bigger vision, but then like, how do you, where do we go next? What is the right way or wrong way to go? And then learning from those things, and then being able to pivot and go a different route, testing some things, what kind of engagement level are we getting? Like, I was really surprised when you guys had done this Twitter poll a week or two ago, and you had quite the engagement level, a very quick thing. So that was interesting to learn from that. And then what do you go forward with that, and what's resonating, what's not. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I think you're spot on about that. So what has this experience so far taught you about the agency life? Like anything specific?
Like just in general, not
Yeah, it's
Pinpoint
in
Love.
general. Because we try to involve you as much as possible into some of our own day-to-day stuff, but is there anything specific that you've maybe felt like you've learned so far?
I just think like the morning traffic meetings
Yeah.
have been really beneficial to see how you guys stay on the same page for like multitude of clients, and you just interact with each other so seamlessly. That's been like a big learning part for me so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The traffic has been really an interesting part to hear, like all of the different things that you have your hand in. And they're so different at the same time, which is really interesting how you guys keep track of all of that. Like he said. But I also really like when we went out and flew the drone. That was cool. And seeing that different perspective, because I feel like that's really a unique thing that this agency has going for them is the drone stuff. And
really just getting out in the field in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, that power play piece, that was something we did last week.
Yeah.
Testing out the drone, which we were trying some new techniques for another actual client project, but we use it as a power play hour to go and test those things and learn some new things. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Josh? Or?
I think you both covered it pretty well. I guess I had never expected that I'd be shooting drone footage for an agency, just going out and taking some fun pictures for the agency. And that was definitely a different perspective that I didn't really expect when I was going through college to end up doing when I got to an agency.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that, what are the aspirations each of you have for kind of where you see yourself career-wise? Is there anything specific? I know that's maybe a broad question.
That's a tough one. So apart from this role, I've had another internship at Haley Sue as an account executive, and I've really enjoyed overseeing projects, and that's been super fun. But seeing what Steven has been doing here, the video production side and the graphic design side, I know I didn't exactly go to school for that, but that's been really interesting for me. But if I was to pick a point to go to, probably more so an account executive or the strategy behind what goes on in the agency projects.
Yeah, I definitely am very interested in strategy. I'm a giant planner. I love to plan things out. So strategy and planning out stuff is really my strong suit. So one day, I mean, I'd like to be in my own agency. I really have always liked marketing agencies and lean towards that more of that instead of in-house marketing. So it's a really good experience to like see what it actually is like instead of just hearing about it.
Yeah, I've always had like the aspiration to work my way up to like a creative director, either for just like a large in-house or an agency, because I've done some graphic design work for like in-house clients before, and it kind of gets a little stale after a little bit.
Right.
But also, if you are all the way up at the top and you have your hand in everything, it doesn't get quite as stale, which I'm learning at like one of my other internships. But I also like the idea of working with tons of clients and just doing like a bunch of different stuff for them, like not even just design, but the meetings and
It is definitely a relationship business, isn't it? I mean, it truly is. I mean, you're ultimately solving problems for clients, you know, because I shouldn't say problems, but a lot of times, you know, they come with this project. It's supposed to, you know, we're supposed to do this. We want to get this out of it. So they're kind of presents itself as here's the task, and sometimes those things can be easy to solve. Sometimes they're harder to solve, and I think definitely that's what's the interesting part is being able to help them figure that out, getting out the information we need from them, finding outside information they didn't even know about, and then being able to apply that with your expertise then to give them something that will ultimately get them where they want to be. So that's what's pretty interesting and fun about just the marketing industry in general. And obviously all the interpersonal, you know, as you've found, everyone has their role and how you work within that role, those roles, to ultimately as a team create this piece or solve the specific problem. So it's quite the fun aspect of it. Definitely is the interpersonal just relationships you build with internally and externally. So so far with what you've learned, I know you've got another, I think, 6 weeks or so left of your internship for the summer, which I can't believe because it's middle of July already. But is there anything that you specifically know so far you'll be able to take with you that maybe you'll apply in the rest of your schooling this next year, or anything specific there that you've maybe learned so far or plan or hope to learn yet?
For me, just like social media marketing in general, I've been learning a lot. Like even like learning from them, like about personas and stuff like that, which even though my major is graphic design and marketing, it's heavier on the design side. And so when I jump into my marketing classes as a senior, I feel like I'm going to be kind of a step ahead.
Right.
So that's going to be really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about social media as well, but I've also learned a lot more about like design and video production from these two, and it's really cool to see that, and it makes me want to learn way more
Right.
than what my courses offer, because we don't have that many art, just marketing doesn't have that many art classes. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's great.
And since the beginning of this, I've definitely looked into the way Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest advertise. And I think I've probably spent we've spent 30 to 40 minutes every day here or outside of work just looking at how that works and how to specifically target and how to create an audience. And that's just been based on our personas. And we're just, again, that's trial and error. So we're still trying to learn on how to apply all of that.
And honestly, you know, as much as I feel like we know from our day and day pieces, I've learned a lot of stuff even from a little bit you explaining back to us about some of the things you're wanting to do or some of the parts of the plan. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But some things that we've necessarily always had the maybe the opportunity to apply or learn about. So some of those things have been good for us too. So definitely been a nice relationship there to learn even a little bit from you guys. So which is great, you know. So that's the other thing too. I think this industry is always changing so much. I mean, I think back to, you know, I've done this a long time, and just going from, you know, my kind of cutting my teeth on print design only to the rise of the web to the rise of social media, and now probably more about content, I would say, more than anything. There's just been this progression that, and they all kind of interrelate, but things have just grown so much in the last 20, 25 years. If you think about it, because of the internet, because of social media and all the other things that I think we have to learn about, it's just a constant changing of what's next, you know. So it's kind of interesting. So, so if you had to describe your experience so far in one word, what would it be?
Ooh. There's a lot of words out there, you know?
Good words too. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
edit this.
there's only
I mean,
good
we can
words
edit it.
out
If we
there.
have to. We'll put a bleep in there or something. No.
Just a couple bleeps.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I know.
One word?
Just
Or a phrase.
Yeah, we'll go with one phrase. How about that? Really cool.
that was like the first thing that popped in
Oh,
my
yeah,
head.
that's see, I read in your mind
But
already.
I'm not going to say that.
Way to put us on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna go with one that's more of an inside joke. The cactus blossoms.
Oh,
That's been
I
good.
think that's just been
yeah.
the epitome of what this agency has been doing. Like, it's just a fun time
Yeah.
all the time.
That's good.
I'm gonna go with-
and that's the whole thing with Creative Arcade. It's just a fun time.
And we did not pay him to say that either.
No.
Neither are we sponsored by the Cactus.
Right. Who are the...
You guys
Explain.
don't even listen to the Cactus.
I know!
It's
That's, oh, yeah,
Are
that's
they
the
even
Everly
on the
Brothers.
Oh,
Are they even on Traffic? Our Traffic playlist?
They're on there, aren't they?
Okay.
No, that's the Everly
Everly
Brothers
Brothers
are. That's why I keep bringing it up. So the Cactus Blossoms, if you don't know, they're from the Minneapolis area. They're awesome. The little bit I've heard, they sound a lot like the Everly Brothers to me. So if you know who the Everly Brothers are, they're an old group from the 50s and 60s, but which is fine. It's cool. But the Cactus Blossoms sound roughly like them, but in their own new way. So, anyways,
I'm going to go with Traffic Break.
Traffic
That's
Break.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with like a creative team,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of creativity flowing from you guys, and everyone really just meshes really well, I think.
Yeah. Good. That makes me feel good. Really good. Cool. So any last parting words? I'm not going to make this a long, drawn-out thing, but any parting words you want to say just in general about the experience or just maybe your own thoughts about where you see yourself going?
I mean, I like how you gave us like these side projects, and like you just gave us a ton of responsibility to kind of find our way on our own, but like you guys come and help us out like when we need it too. And I really like that compared to just like having my hand held throughout the process. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because other internships, you don't really get that all the time. And I definitely feel like I've learned a lot more from this internship than some other ones I've had.
Cool. See, we always feel like we're not with you enough. You know, we try to at least touch base a few times throughout the day, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, I think that's one thing we didn't want to necessarily just put you on one specific thing and tell you what to do. Like I feel like we brought you guys all on for a reason. You know, things you brought to the table, and we felt like I said, we've learned even a lot from you guys. You know, that whole Jeopardy thing you did last week, you guys, that was awesome. Real quick, we had a power of play where we had the interns lead it, and they found this cool Jeopardy app online. It is really fun. It was awesome. It was so fun. So fun. That's the stuff. I mean, that's the thing. That's how I think you also build a creative team and one that works well together and trusts each other is just some of that relationship of just being people hanging out every day, working together, you know? Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Yeah. And I guess on a closing note, like they said, it's been great having the independence, but it's been really cool that you guys have also pulled us over to help with a few projects. And I think that has been super beneficial for us to see the thought process behind what goes on when you're making a campaign for someone or you're storyboarding an idea for another company.
That's right. You guys did help us with a couple of client things. Yeah. Some campaign stuff, which was really helpful too. So yeah, it's been great all around. So awesome. Well, I'm not going to keep going on and on. I know you guys have stuff to do. We have stuff to do, and people watching probably have stuff to do, but just wanted to get you guys out so people could learn about what we're doing this summer with you guys and the project we're working on, which we've, again, kind of informally launched, but not really made a big deal about. But that's your main focus this summer, which has been really fun so far. So again, thank you, and can't wait to see where we end up towards the end of the things. And we'll definitely share with you later on once we get a little bit farther. But if you're interested, it's pinpointlove.com. Obviously, this is Creative Arcade. And we will see you next time on episode 31. Till then, bye-bye.